कुछ खोदे खोदा करके
मैं माननीय कुलपति महोदय डॉक्टर APJ अब्दुल कलाम भारतीय विश्वविद्यालय, प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर अभय जेरी साहब, डॉक्टर दीपन साहू, एफओ साहब, रजिस्ट्रार साहब एंड प्रति कुलपति साहब, प्रोफेसर मनीष गौड़ साहब, डॉक्टर संदीप तिवारी जी, आप सभी लोगों से अनुरोध है कि कृपया मंच पर आकर अपना आसन ग्रहण करें। सभी आगंतुकों से अनुरोध है कृपया अपना अपना स्थान ग्रहण करें। हम बहुत जल्दी ये प्रोग्राम शुरू करने वाले हैं। गुड मॉर्निंग, नमस्कार, सुप्रभात। मैं डॉक्टर अनुज कुमार शर्मा, प्रेसिडेंट IISc डॉक्टर APJ अब्दुल कलाम टेक्निकल यूनिवर्सिटी लखनऊ विश्वविद्यालय परिवार एवं मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एजुकेशन इनोवेशन सेल की तरफ से आप सभी का इस सभागार में स्वागत करता हूं, अभिनंदन करता हूं। जैसा कि आप सभी को विदित है कि मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एजुकेशन की जो इनोवेशन सेल है उसने एक बीड़ा उठाया है इस पूरे भारतवर्ष में इनोवेशन इंक्यूबेशन को हायर एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशंस के अंदर स्थापित करने का। एक सभी इंस्टीट्यूशंस में एक IIC सेल हो। आपको बताते हुए हर्ष हो रहा है कि अभी वर्तमान में मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एजुकेशन IIC सेल द्वारा लगभग 4000 से ज़्यादा IIC इंस्टीट्यूशंस में स्थापित किए जा चुके हैं, जिसमें से लगभग 250 अराउंड उत्तर प्रदेश में स्थापित हैं। अब चूंकि उत्तर प्रदेश एक बहुत बड़ा राज्य है इंस्टीट्यूशंस के दृष्टिगत भी, तो यहाँ पर हम लोगों की भी भूमिका बड़ी हो जाती है कि हम उनका सपोर्ट करें और जो भारत सरकार है उनके जो लक्ष्य हैं उनको हासिल करने में अपना योगदान दें। अभी हम लोग के समक्ष हैं माननीय कुलपति महोदय प्रोफेसर प्रदीप कुमार मिश्र जी, जो इनोवेशन में भी एक अहम स्थान रखते हैं इस भारतवर्ष में, जो कि हमारे बीच हैं। उनके साथ हैं डॉक्टर अभय जेरे जी, जो चीफ इनोवेशन ऑफिसर हैं मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एजुकेशन इनोवेशन सेल के। उनके अलावा हमारे मध्य में हैं डॉक्टर दीपन साहू, जो असिस्टेंट इनोवेशन डायरेक्टर हैं, IISc को देखते हैं। और फिर हमारे साथ प्रति कुलपति प्रोफेसर मनीष गौड़ साहब, उनके बराबर में श्री GP सिंह जी, जो वित्त नियंत्रक हैं इस विश्वविद्यालय के। फिर श्री सचिन कुमार जी, जो रजिस्ट्रार हैं, सचिव हैं इस विश्वविद्यालय के। और अंत में प्रोफेसर संदीप तिवारी जी, जो डीन इनोवेशन एंड इंक्यूबेशन हैं इस विश्वविद्यालय के। सभी की तरफ से, पूरे परिवार की तरफ से आप लोगों का एक बार पुनः धन्यवाद एंड आप लोगों का स्वागत। अब मैं इस कार्यक्रम को शुरुआत करने के लिए सर्वप्रथम दीप प्रज्वलन, जो भारतीय परंपरा है किसी प्रोग्राम को शुरू करने के लिए, उसमें मैं सभी मुख्य अतिथिगणों से अनुरोध करूंगा कि वो दीप प्रज्वलन करें।
शुभम करोति कल्याणम आरोग्यम धन संपदा शत्रुबुद्धि विनाशाय दीपज्योति नमोस्तुते। दिव्या दिव्यारे दीपत्कार काली कुंडल मोतिहार दिव्याला देवा देवे देवा पाशी उजेड पडे विष्णू पाशी माझा नमस्कार सर्व देव देवतांपाशी.
धन्यवाद सर. इस सभागार को ऊर्जावान बनाने के बाद, ऊपर वाले का आशीर्वाद मिलने के बाद, मैं एक बार पुनः आप सभी लोगों का जो यहाँ पर पधारे हैं, एक बार पुनः आप लोगों का सभी का स्वागत करता हूँ. अब मैं माननीय कुलपति महोदय डॉक्टर APJ अब्दुल कलाम प्राविधिक विश्वविद्यालय से अनुरोध करूंगा कि वो डॉक्टर अभय जेरे जी का पुष्प गुच्छ के साथ स्वागत करें. थैंक यू सर. अब मैं प्रतिकुलपति प्रोफेसर मनीष गौड़ जी से अनुरोध करूंगा कि वो असिस्टेंट इनोवेशन डायरेक्टर डॉक्टर दीपन साहू जी का पुष्प गुच्छ से स्वागत करें. थैंक यू सर. अब मैं जो मिस वंदना शर्मा हैं इनोवेशन हब मैनेजर, उनसे अनुरोध करूंगा कि कार्यक्रम का संचालन करें. मिस वंदना.
Thank you so much, sir. I welcome everyone here on this ISC regional meet, and we are really overwhelmed with the response we have received from NRO region. That is from all the ISC institutes, all the startups, innovators who all are attending this program. Welcome everyone. Now to proceed with the welcome ceremony, we have got the roundtable guests with us, our jury members who will be working entire day to evaluate the startups and innovators, and who will be discussing a policy level discussion in the roundtable. I invite Professor Vineet Kansal sir to please welcome Shri Sudhanshu Rastogi ji. He is an investor from Venture Catalyst and 9 Unicorn. Welcome sir. I request Professor S.P. Shukla sir, Director REC Bandha, to please welcome Srimati Isa Jain, Principal Correspondent from Times of India. I think ma'am is not. Okay. Now I request I request Shri Fakre Azam sir for the welcome. Fakre Azam sir, sir please. I request Dr. R.K. Singh sir, our Deputy Registrar, to please welcome Mr. Gaurav Srivastava. He is consultant from World Bank. Now I request Mr. Manish Singh, Head Innovation Hub, to please welcome Mr. Rajesh Shukla, Director AKtU Foundation. practices and HEIs. He is enthusiastic policy entrepreneur and practitioner contributing to startup ecosystem. Before that, I would like to invite Mr. Anuj Kumar Sharma for the welcome address.
थैंक यू मिस वंदना। मैं पूरे विश्वविद्यालय परिवार की तरफ से सर्वप्रथम माननीय कुलपति महोदय डॉक्टर APJ अब्दुल कलाम प्रावधिक विश्वविद्यालय का हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूं और धन्यवाद करता हूं कि सर ने अपने नेतृत्व में जो इनोवेशंस इंक्यूबेशंस का जो माहौल विश्वविद्यालय और उससे संबद्ध संस्थानों में बनाया है, उसके लिए मैं सर का धन्यवाद। और आज उनकी उपस्थिति से जो ये इनोवेशन का माहौल है, उसमें जो उनकी गरिमा में उपस्थिति है और उन्होंने जो समय दिया और आदेश दिया और अनुमति दी इस कार्यक्रम को करने की, तो मैं सर्वप्रथम सर का धन्यवाद व्यक्त करता हूँ और स्वागत करता हूँ। उनके उपरांत डॉक्टर अभय जेरे जी, जो किसी भी परिचय के मोहताज नहीं है, आप सभी लोग जानते हैं, बहुत ज़्यादा उनके बारे में बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है। ही इज द मैन बिहाइंड द इनोवेशंस इन इंडिया। और 2018 में जब से IISc की स्थापना हुई है और उसके बाद जो MHRD का जो इनोवेशन की तरफ इंक्लिनेशन है, उसमें सर का बहुत बड़ा योगदान है और वो स्वयं यहाँ पर उपस्थित हुए हैं, इस कार्यक्रम की शोभा बढ़ाई है। मैं सर आपका भी स्वागत करता हूँ। डॉक्टर दीपन साहू, जो इस IISc को कोऑर्डिनेट करते हैं, इसके अलावा और भी कई सारी पॉलिसीज को कोऑर्डिनेट करते हैं, तो खासकर ये जो IISc में उनका जो योगदान है, और वो खुद आए, इस कार्यक्रम की ब्रीफिंग वो ले रहे थे कल से परसों से, कि उन्होंने अंकुश जी को भी यहाँ पे रिप्यूट किया कि जो यहाँ पे ग्राउंड लेवल जो तैयारियां हैं उसमें सहयोग मिल सके और उनका जो इनपुट है वो मिल सके। उसके लिए मैं डॉक्टर दीपन साहू जी को भी धन्यवाद और उनका स्वागत करता हूँ। बाकी हमारे जो विश्वविद्यालय के अधिकारी हैं, GP सिंह सर, उनका स्वागत करता हूँ। प्रति कुलपति महोदय प्रोफेसर मनीष गौड़ जी, उनका स्वागत करता हूँ इस सभागार में, उन्होंने समय दिया। श्री सचिन कुमार सिंह जी, जो कुल सचिव हैं इस विश्वविद्यालय के, वो कई दिन से इस कार्यक्रम को लेकर उत्साहित थे और इसके बारे में उन्होंने बहुत सारी जानकारियां यहाँ पर दी और सर यहाँ पर उपस्थित हुए। आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, आपके गाइडेंस में कार्यक्रम हो रहा है। प्रोफेसर संदीप तिवारी जी, जो डीन इनोवेशन है इस पूरे विश्वविद्यालय के, जो ये सारी चीज़ों को कोऑर्डिनेट करते हैं, समन्वय स्थापित करते हैं, उनका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। इसके अलावा जो हमारे अतिथिगण हैं, निदेशक महोदय हैं, प्रोफेसर विनीत कंसल सर, प्रोफेसर SP शुक्ला सर, बाकी जो सीनियर प्रोफेसर्स हैं, विभिन्न संस्थानों के निदेशक, दूर दराज से आए हुए जो इनोवेटर्स हैं, जिन्होंने IISc के पोस्टर लगाए हैं विभिन्न संस्थानों से, उनका मैं स्वागत करता हूँ। जो UPCST के माध्यम से जो ग्रास रूट इनोवेटर्स हैं, वो लोग आए और रात से ही अपने स्टॉल लगा रहे हैं यहाँ पे, उनका बहुत बहुत स्वागत। छात्र छात्राओं का स्वागत और जो हमारी पूरी टीम है इनोवेशन हब की, उसके माध्यम से और उनका भी बहुत बहुत स्वागत करता हूँ। थैंक यू सो मच।
Thank you so much, sir, for the welcome address. Now I proceed with the formal address and to let everyone know about the IISc regional meet. So I take the opportunity to invite Mr. Deepan Sahu, Assistant Innovation Director, Ministry of Education Innovation Cell. Welcome, sir.
Good morning, Lucknow and NRO zone. Respected Chief Guest of today's event, Dr. Abhay Zere, Chief Innovation Officer of Ministry of Education Innovation Cell. Honorable Vice Chancellor of Abdul Kalam Technical University, Professor Pradeep Kumar Mishra sir. Respected dignitaries on the dais, Registrar, Pro Vice Chancellor sir, Dean, Directors and dignitaries of the dais, industrialists, faculty members, IISc members, principals, directors from various IISc institutions, and the whole organizing team from AKtU, the IISc president and IISc team at AKtU. Those are putting lots of effort to make this event successful. And today is our 50th IISc visual meet, so it's kind of a last visual meet We started this journey in 19th of July, 21st of July from Chennai, and so far we have conducted 14 regional meets, and today it is the 15th regional meet, and this is one way we can say it is we are concluding our regional meet journey today. So coming to the point, actually the purpose behind this IIC regional meet is to celebrate this innovation and entrepreneurship culture and the movement we have developed in higher education institutions. And so far, if I will say in a very brief, that India has completed its 75 years of independence, and now for next 25 years it is going to the Amrit Kal for our country. And maybe you can ask, what is that Amrit Kal? That Amrit Kal actually where through which India is seeing a position of being an advanced country by 2047. And by 2025, we are aiming for achieving a $5 trillion economy, so that will set a ground for reaching to that advanced level or advanced economy. And that's why we have started the country, the whole government and whole country has started achieving the self-reliant India or Atmanirbhar Bharat, which is very commonly known to all of us. And we have other programs like Skill India, Startup India, so many programs actually we are running. But ultimately the objective is to put India's economic growth in the first track and achieve this target of an advanced country by 2047. And that's why we are calling this Amrit Kal. And how this IIC, how the higher education institutions is going to contribute immensely to this Amrit Kal is actually, it is now quite evident, because in the last 3 years we have already proven it that IIC has that tremendous potential, especially our higher education institutions have that tremendous potential, especially our youth. Through this model we can impart more skill, we can make our youth innovative, we can make our institutions entrepreneurial, and through which a sustained generation of innovations, entrepreneurs and intellectual properties will come out from education institutions. So while achieving this target, there are so many opportunities out there, because we are one of the youngest nations in the world, where the 60% of workforce are falling the age group of 35 to 40 or 25 to 40, which is a very good sign that we are young, and we will remain this youngest nation till 2050. After that, it will start declining. And another good opportunity is that in our country, India stands third largest number of educational institutions in the world after China and US and China. So in terms of quantity, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of faculty members, in terms of graduates we produce, we are doing very good, and we have already achieved that quantity. But in terms of quality, actually we are lagging behind. Actually that is where the challenge comes in. And if you will say that how many institutions we have more than 60,000 higher education institutions we have, and out of which 10,000 institutions are technical and remaining 50,000 institutions are non-technical in nature. And it is very hard to imagine developing an ecosystem by excluding these non-technical institutions. And even within the technical institutions, so far we have, when we conducted a survey in 2017 at AICTE, we found that out of these 10,000 technical institutions, hardly 400 institutions had some kind of innovation entrepreneurship activity. And then we started finding the result, why it is happening, why our institutions are not taking this innovation entrepreneurship as a core agenda, and why they are not promoting it. Then we started identifying so many gaps, so many challenges, so many constraints. Then we started building on it, and the major challenges or the major constraints what we have identified, especially in our education institutions they are facing, is the isolation. Most of the departments, they were working in isolation, and there is no kind of intra and inter-institutional partnership. And the resource mobilization also not happened earlier. And then also we found that in institutions, the involvement of faculty members, involvement and ownership of institutions in driving or promoting or supporting innovation and entrepreneurship was not that much intense. And it's because that competent human resources do not exist in our institutions. And based on all these kind of challenges and constraints, and after interacting with so many institutions, finally this Institutions Innovation Council model emerged, and it was started in 2018. And good thing is that because of this incentiveness, because of this flexibility nature, because of the decentralized model, and this model was picked up by the institutions, and we started with very less number, and now in last 2.5 years, the total number of IIC IACs established in educational institutions has reached to more than 4,100 as of today. And that's a very good sign that this IAC is now becoming a successful model, and it provides a framework, it provides a structured approach, it streamlines, strengthens, and also help in creating the ecosystem development in our educational institutions. And also to support it, we have started Innovation Ambassador Training Program, through which we are trying to equip our faculty members to take a next level challenge by providing necessary skills on innovation, entrepreneurship and intellectual property, so that they will act as a mentor. Also they will start engaging in innovation and entrepreneurship activities during their academic. And complemented with so many other programs with like National Innovation Startup Policy and also benchmarking innovation through innovation ranking. So there are so many other programs complementing the whole process. And more largely this Smart India Hackathon program, through which we are trying to engage this government, industry and providing the problem statements to our students and institutions to come up with a solution in a team form. So these are kind of triggering the creative mindset of our Indian youth. This is actually very much required if you want to achieve, if you want to see a big dream of to become an advanced country and a $5 trillion economy in very short span of time. And we have all these facilities, we have all these capacities. Want to just improve upon our capabilities and to empower our youth to take the bigger challenges and to solve the local problems and provide solutions that can be developed domestically and achieving this Atmanirbhar Bharat. So in last 3 years, what we have achieved, we have seen that this movement and culture of innovation and entrepreneurship has been already started, and to take it further, we have started organizing this IAC regional meets, and so far more than 9,000 faculty members from all these IAC institutions already we have interacted, and we have so many tracks, session tracks and knowledge tracks. We are facilitating interaction between institutions, and this regional meet provides a platform, a networking platform and connection between the institutions and they find the right institutions to get mentorship or to provide mentorship or to receive mentorship. So this kind of unique whole day event where knowledge sharing, best practice sharing, the interaction, networking, collaboration and also the ecosystem enablers those are present here in every regional meet. We found that they came forward and they are extending, they are offering their support and services to further strengthen the campus ecosystem. So this is the kind of a beautiful way this program is designed, and especially inviting the student innovations, faculty innovations to demonstrate and learning from each other. Faculty will also find that how students are doing innovation in other institutions and how that will happen in their institutions. So this is kind of a very flexible and knowledge-enriched tracks, sessions and exhibitions, posters. That's actually beautify the whole event. I hope for next 4 to 5 hours or till the evening, you will utilize this time in a better way and also effective way. You will visit to the innovation stalls. You will also go and interact with the institutions, innovation councils, came up with their posters, because we have given them a task. What they have achieved after establishment of IAC, they have to showcase, they have to present, they have to demonstrate, and that will also enlighten you that how others are doing. And also you will find many non-technical institutions now, they are competing at par with technical institutions in terms of innovation and entrepreneurship, which says that now technical innovation is not only, it's a myth. We are breaking the myth of innovation is only for the technical institutions, and we are actually breaking that myth, and also we are promoting through this collaboration, through this team approach, how innovation can be multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary and cross-disciplinary, cross-sector. So this kind of concept, this kind of approaches we are promoting, and I believe all of you are having the same mindset, same approach, and through this regional meet, not only we will learn from each other, also we will inspire others, and through that collaborative and through this cooperation and co-creation, we will achieve the objective and agenda of IAC to put our India in the top 25 of position in the Global Innovation Index, and currently we are at 46, but we should jump from 81st position to 46 just 4 years, and next 2 years we should jump from 46 to 25 position, and we have to set a target, we have to set a milestone, and through that only we will achieve, and I believe everybody should come up and you should equip yourself to take this bigger challenge. So I will stop my message here because after this inauguration session, after visit to the innovation stalls and IAC, I have another 1 hour session. During that session, I will interact in depth and length about IAC impact and the contribution made by each and every institutions in driving this ecosystem. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir. So well explained the importance of IIC and the benefit of being establishing Ministry of Education Innovation Cell. I am associated with this since 2018 and it really have a great impact being an innovation ambassador, being a student, like they are orienting students, and our students are having inclinations towards entrepreneurship and innovation because it is being monitored, supervised and guided by the central body. So that's an achievement for our country. Now, I am glad and privileged to invite our chief guest, Dr. Abhay Jire. He is a Chief Innovation Officer at Ministry of Education Innovation Cell. Sir was Chief Scientist and R&D Head at Persistent Systems Limited. He is the brain and driving force behind Ministry of Education Innovation Cell initiatives. Welcome, sir.
Good morning. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Mishra sir, Pro-Vice Chancellor, Directors, dignitaries on the dais of the dais. First, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to AKtU for allowing us, for encouraging us, for joining hands with us in arranging this IIC National Meet. So thank you very much, we sincerely appreciate. The kind of support which we have received from you is phenomenal. And as Speaker was saying, these IIC regional meets are extremely crucial for us for promoting the culture of innovation, entrepreneurship, ideation within our educational institutions. For the last 3 years, we have been working on higher educational institutions. But since last 1 year, we have also started working with schools in large numbers. Now, IICs have been established in more than 4,000 institutions. And the kind of response which we are getting is simply phenomenal. But in 2017, when we were conceptualizing this entire initiative, we were not sure about the model because no such model exists anywhere in the world. This is itself an innovation. And the reason we decided to come up with this model was because during my interaction with many thought leaders, many vice chancellors, directors, dean, I realized that when people are sitting on dioceses, they talk big things. They used to throw words like innovation, entrepreneurship. But if you ask them in private that what they are really doing, many of them really did have a very concrete answer or a very concrete roadmap. So we felt at that time that we have to solve this problem. We have to handhold these people. We have to handhold these organizations. Our leaders were very well-meaning. Genuinely they wanted to do something. They used to consult a lot of people. But what we realized was that the approach was quite hodgepodge. So we conceptualized this entire IIC initiative and we said that we will try and institutions on a monthly basis or on a quarterly basis. And if they just follow the instructions which we are giving, then we will ensure that a sustainable ecosystem will get established in these institutions. We have been successful to some extent. To be very honest, as I said earlier, we are also learning because no such model exists anywhere in the world. We have also fumbled a lot. I have no qualms in accepting that. We have received a lot of feedback. Every year we are trying to modify. But I believe now to some extent we have a reasonable model. And we are going to put this model in front of the world which others can go ahead and relate. But we started this in 2017 and now we are in 2022. And at that time, as I said, these were buzzwords. But now, if you really look at innovation and entrepreneurship is going to be unnecessary. It's for your survival. If you will not innovate, you will not survive. If you will not ideate or think out of the box, you will not survive. And for that, I would like to put you in front of you two scenarios. Now I talk about these scenarios in multiple occasions. And they are going to be reality in next 5 to 7 years. And then you have to ask your question, once you are getting out of this auditorium, that am I ready for those scenarios? Whether I could survive, I can survive. So first scenario, or the first thing which is really going to happen, which I would like to highlight here, is we are moving towards gig economy format. How many of you are aware of gig economy? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, 6 people. It means many of you have not even heard about what gig economy is. Moving forward, companies are not going to offer permanent jobs. They are going to hire people on project by project basis. Google has already started with that. You know, the good example which we are all aware of is film industry, where if you have to make a film, you get in people together. You get in script writers, directors, technicians, hero, heroine. You make a movie, you release it and you move on to other projects, right? Even Ola Uber drivers, in the morning he is driving for Ola, in the evening he is driving for Uber, or sometimes simultaneously. Now imagine same thing happening in our technical field or technical companies actually working on this model. That this is a 6-month project which requires an AI/ML expert. I am going to have a team. The best people in that team, I will just source them as consultants or on contract. We will execute the project, we will deliver the project, we will disperse. We are not going to hire people on full-time or on a full-time basis or on a permanent basis. So this is the scenario in which we are moving forward. It's already a reality in the US, and you will see happening this in India in next 3-4 years. So this is the first scenario we are talking about. It's not a scenario, which is going to be a reality. The second important aspect, that this millennial generation, which has born after 2000, is going to live for 90 years, 95 years. Due to development in our social security, our medical benefit, the medicine sector, medical sector, the kind of healthcare which we have, But we are not going to have pensions. Right? We have to survive ourselves. So, if we have to support ourselves for last 20 years, 15 years, 20 years, because we will not able to support ourselves beyond that, then we have to work till we are 70 or 75. Then only we will able to support ourselves, this millennial generation, till they are 90 or 95. Now, a student usually graduates at 22. And he has to work for minimum next 50 years. Now think of this gig economy scenario and this 50 years of survival together. Because that's where the world is moving. Can you predict what will be the technologies 50 years from now? No, it's impossible. It's simply impossible. So what do you have to do? We have to create kids. We have to build kids with a mentality which are eager to learn, which are ready to think out of the box, which are ready to go back to school, reskill themselves, unskill themselves, so that they will remain relevant for next 45, 50 years. And if we have to do that, and if they have to compete in this world, which is a gig economic world, then they continuously have to remain ahead of the curve. They have to continuously sell themselves. On daily basis, they will have to sell themselves. There is a very famous book. You should read that book. Me Enterprise. This book actually talks about how you have to sell yourself, how an individual is an enterprise. You have to treat yourself as a company. And you have to sell yourself in the market regularly. And if you have to do that, you have to be best in the field. You have to be ahead of your curve. Now ask yourself, are we producing the kids which are capable of handling such scenarios? Are we ourselves ready to be relevant in a scenario where we have to give this kind of work? Because if you ask, at least 2-3 years back, I used to interact again with a lot of academic leaders. And if you ask them, what is your success? How you will define your success? In majority of the colleges, I will tell you, people used to tell me, that's our 100% placement or 50% placement. Or our 50% students have scored more than 75% marks or 80% marks of distinction. These were our parameters, yardsticks for evaluating us. Means what? We were chasing marks and grades. We were not chasing ideas. And that has to change. We need to chase ideas. We have to take ideas logically forward. We have to consolidate on our ideas. I was just yesterday going through statistics, and India is amongst the top 10 people in terms of research, or top 10 countries in terms of research. The number of papers which we publish, you know how it is. So I don't need to elaborate on that. But we also are doing good quality work. But are we taking that work forward? Because if we have to define research and innovation, we have to define it in a very simple For me, I keep things definition simple because it's very easy to understand and it's very easy to convey. For me, research is very simple. It's conversion of wealth into new knowledge. You invest in your experiment, you invest in terms of time, you invest in terms of wealth when you are procuring or you are using your consumables and so on and so forth. You are investing. So it's an investment. Right? And what that investment results in new knowledge. And for me, innovation is very simple. Again, conversion of that knowledge into wealth again. Means we are doing research, but we are not taking it logically forward for wealth creation, IP generation. Because our IP generation is also very poor. Our neighbor China is filing 15-16 lakh patents annually. India is doing 50-55,000. With 50 lakh ka, 16 lakh ka, 50,000 ka. We have more than 50,000, 55,000 institutions, educational institutions, higher educational institutions. And we can safely say 85% of these educational institutes have never filed an IP ever. Are we dumb? No, we are not dumb. What is lacking? The ecosystem to logically take these ideas forward and hold them. So I will request, because AKtU has, Mr. was saying, more than 750 plus institutions under its domain. So we need to actually come up with right kind of policies. And from that perspective, we have already announced National Innovation and Startup Policy for faculty and students. And I will actually request you to look into those policies. Look into that policy document. Work with your university so that you have that policy in place. That policy was for unshackling faculty members, students, to do their startups, to pursue the path of innovation and entrepreneurship. Again, it's a very unique document. No such document exists anywhere. Because when we realize that there is no good policy and institutions were doing whatever they want to do, I had a good interaction with a professor from a very premier institute. And he told me that, sir, if we do any, if we generate any kind of revenue, 50 and in some colleges even 60% is taken by the institute. अगर 50% इंस्टीट्यूट निकालने का पैसा, 30% इनकम टैक्स निकाल लेते हैं, तो फिर बचता क्या है? Why someone will go down that path? So we said we have to change this. And we have now capped it to 20%. So that maximum money gets into your pocket. I had an interaction with another kid from another premier institution. He started a small business. It was an e-commerce platform which he was doing. And he made a few thousand, not more than that. When the director of that institute came to know, he said, he asked, where is institute's share? So the student said, why I should give money to institute? Why I should pay the share revenue with institute? This is my idea. This is my project. I am doing it. I am not using any of the institutional facilities. He was living in hostel there. And from hostel work. The director said, wrong. You are using hostel's internet. So the entire IP of your business belongs to us. This is again ridiculous. Right? We need to change this. So we have got this policy, which is very, very innovator biased, so that unshackled happens during our PhD. You know, I also did my PhD. You have done your PhD, you might have multiple students who are doing PhD. And the training which is required to become an entrepreneur are more or less the same. I don't know how many of you have really thought about it. There is a very good talk by Professor Dr. Anand Deshpande. You should see that talk is there on our website, where he has compared both the trainings required. Because, for example, when we are doing our PhD, what we do, we identify a problem which is relevant and needs to be solved. Right? Same thing is for entrepreneurship. You identify a niche where a product is required. Okay? You identify a gap. Same thing here. Same thing here. Then you conceptualize, you hypothesize. Here also, you think about a product, you conceptualize a product. Then you actually start doing experiments while you are doing PhD. Many times your experiments fail. You go back, you re-strategize, you come back, you do your experiments again. Same thing happens here. You conceptualize a product, you build a product, you go back to your customers. They don't accept, you fail, you come back, you pivot it. You know, we end up spending 5-6 years of our life doing PhD. Here also, we end up 3-4 years investing on our product, taking it to market. So the training, the mindset, the emotional setbacks which we require or which we get while pursuing either of the fields are more or less the same. But I was never aware. While I was doing my PhD, my boss never told me that, Abhay, let's explore whether we can bring out some products, whether we can create a business out of it. And that is what is really required. And through this IIC programs, we are trying to achieve it. So we want a sustainable innovation ecosystem on which you will work. You will take ideas forward and help build entrepreneurs, which will actually generate wealth for this country. And then only this $5 trillion economy dream or making ourselves a developed nation, as our Honorable Prime Minister said, from his 15th of August Redford speech, by 2047 will be a reality. Thanks very much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing the journey of Innovation Cell and for bringing the ground reality in front of all of us. We have also experienced that the faculty members or the HODs who do not support innovators are now running their own ventures, are now mentoring the startups. So this is the difference. Now I take the opportunity to welcome our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, Professor Pradeep Kumar Mishra, for this.
आप सभी का लखनऊ में स्वागत है। मैं हूँ तो बनारस का, लेकिन अब लखनऊ में हूँ, तो आपका मैं स्वागत करता हूँ यहाँ पे। और जेरे साहब का खासकर स्वागत है, दिपेश साहब का, कि आप दिल्ली से आए लखनऊ, मोदी जी के प्रधानमंत्री रहते हुए जो हमने देखा है देश में जो चेंजेस हो रहे हैं, वही चेंजेस हम उत्तर प्रदेश में योगी जी के रहते हुए थे। तो एक बार मैं कहूँगा जोरदार तालियां हमारे प्रधानमंत्री और मुख्यमंत्री का, क्योंकि इनके नेतृत्व में बहुत विश्वास है। जेरे साहब ने अभी इकोसिस्टम की बात की, इनोवेशन में, इंक्यूबेशन में, एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप की 17 से 22 तक आईआईसी की जर्नी की। मैं भी आईआईसी का प्रेसिडेंट था AKtU में, तो मैं आपके साथ जुड़ा हूं सर, बहुत नीचे से जुड़ा हूं। जब हमने सोचना शुरू किया था हम लोगों ने 2003 में बनारस में इनोवेशन, इंक्यूबेशन, एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप की बात, उस जर्नी के जो साक्षी कुछ लोग हैं जो 2008-10 में मेरे साथ आए, इसमें से 1-2 लोग यहाँ दिख रहे हैं। अजय जी हैं, देशपांडे फाउंडेशन का ऑफिस मालवीय सेंटर में खोलने आए थे आप, अच्छे हैं, मेरे लैब में आए थे, आप जब आपको डेवलपमेंट करना था किसी पर्टिकुलर प्रोडक्ट का, मुझे याद है मैं बहुत परेशान रहता था। इंडस्ट्री से टीचिंग में गया था और टीचिंग में जाने के बाद जो एक लिमिटेशन फील होती थी कि यार क्या करूं, कैसे अपनी एनर्जी का यूज करूं। उस समय आप सोचिए जब आप एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप की बात करते थे इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज में तो लोग कहते थे कौन सी बात कर रहे हो, मैनेजमेंट की बात करते थे तो क्यों कर रहे हो, आप टेक्नोलॉजी पढ़ने आए हो, रिसर्च करो, इनोवेशन करो। इनोवेशन की कोई बात कर लेता था लेकिन ज्यादातर लोग नहीं करते थे। और जब ये विचार कैसे आया, जब स्टूडेंट के साथ आप मिलते हो, उनके साथ बैठते हो, किसी भी इंस्टीट्यूशन सेटअप में मैंने बार बार कहा कि आप किसके साथ बैठते हो, समय कहां गुजारते हो, वाइस चांसलर हो गए फिर भी कहां रहोगे, क्या स्टूडेंट्स के बीच में रहोगे, क्या स्टाफ के बीच में रहोगे, कि केवल ऑफिसर्स के बीच में घूमते रहोगे। इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन योर आउटलुक। किसी भी इंस्टीट्यूशंस में चेंजेस तब आते हैं जब आप रियल स्टेक होल्डर्स के साथ बैठो, उनकी प्रॉब्लम्स को समझो। और आईआईटी और बीएचयू, उसमें बीएचयू हुआ करता था, आईटी तो नहीं बना था, आईटी बीएचयू था। और जब हम लोगों ने इस तरह की बात की तो कोई नोट टेकर, अभी मनीष बैठे हैं आईआईसी बीएचयू का देख रहे हैं, मनीष अरोड़ा हाथ उठा नीचे, महतो जी भी आए अभी आईटी बीएचयू से, मुझे जहां तक पता चला, नमस्कार। तो आप सब लोग देख रहे हैं कि अब चेंजेस हो रहे हैं, लेकिन कितना कठिन था उस समय हम कह नहीं सकते। एक बार एसके मैनी साहब के साथ मैं बैठा था, रेवा इलेक्ट्रिक कार कंपनी के ओनर, जिन्होंने उस समय में एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप की बात सोची थी। और मैंने कहा सर मैं एक इंक्यूबेटर बनाना चाहता हूं, कोई जगह नहीं मिलता, कोई सपोर्ट ही नहीं करता। तो उन्होंने कहा क्या जरूरत है, वो तुम्हारे चैम्बर के नीचे बरामदा है ना, वहीं तो कुर्सी डाल के बैठ जाओ। उन्होंने कहा कोई इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की जरूरत नहीं है, एक माइंड सेट चाहिए। अपने स्टूडेंट के साथ जो एक काम करना चाहे, लैपटॉप है तो नहीं, एक दो डेस्कटॉप रख लो, कहीं भी बैठ जाओ। और यू वोंट इमेजिन, हमने यही किया। बाद में एक कूड़ा फेंकने की जगह थी हमारे यहाँ आईटी बीएचयू में, जहां सेट होता था, उस सेट में हम लोग सफाई करना शुरू किए। 12 फीट मिट्टी था सर, वो मिट्टी और सांप ये हटाने के बाद हमें वो जगह मिली कि चलो जो करना कर लो। और आज जब AKtU में मैं बैठा हूं, मैं देखता हूं किस तरह का इकोसिस्टम है। इकोसिस्टम तो अभी नहीं क्रिएट हुआ है, आई कैन नॉट से, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर सपोर्ट जबरदस्त है। जो एक जमाने में था कि हमारे पास कुछ भी नहीं था, लेकिन इकोसिस्टम क्रिएट किया जा सकता है, जैसा मैंने कहा। और जिन्हें साहब ने ऑलरेडी कहा है कि आप माइंडसेट से बात करो। इनोवेशन बाजवर्ड है, इनोवेशन का एग्जैक्ट मीनिंग क्या है, एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप की मीनिंग क्या है, या जिंदगी जीने का अंदाज क्या होगा, ये हमें तय करना है। और आप अपने एजुकेशन सिस्टम में जो चेंजेस आए उसको अगर आप देखें, मैं तो बार बार रेफर करता हूं 1823 बेल्लारी डिस्ट्रिक्ट का एक सर्वे है, धर्मपाल जी ने इसको पब्लिश किया था और ब्यूटीफुल ट्री के नाम से पब्लिश है। इंडिया में 1823 में सारे प्रेसिडेंसी में स्टूडेंट का स्किल और स्टूडेंट का कंडीशन इंग्लैंड से बेहतर था। और 1947 आते आते क्या हो गया हमें कि अकबर इलाहाबादी को एक शेर कहना पड़ा। वो शेर भी मैं लोगों से कहता हूं, दिल में भूख क्या है एतबार की, दूध तो डिब्बे का है, तालीम है सरकार की। आप सोचिए, मतलब हम लोग की क्या स्थिति हो गई, कुछ नहीं, हर चीज के लिए वेस्ट की तरफ देखना, लुक टुवर्ड्स वेस्ट एक नीति हो गई। जो कुछ है अमेरिका में अच्छा है, जो कुछ है इंग्लैंड में अच्छा है। हमने शायद अपनी रीढ़ की हड्डी तोड़ दी, खत्म कर दी, रीढ़ की हड्डी में दम ही नहीं रहा। लेकिन इसीलिए एजुकेशन सिस्टम जो हम लोग पढ़ते थे, हमें लगता था डिग्री लेना ही एम हुआ करता था। कितने परसेंटेज हैं जो अभी तक मिडिल क्लास में बहुत से परिवारों में शायद इनब्रेड होके रह गया है, बच्चों की जान ले लेते हैं, ये ग्रेड ला दो वो कर दो। उनके लिए एक ओपन एटमॉस्फेयर की आप इंटरैक्ट करो, खेलो, लोगों के साथ बैठो, समझो, ये खत्म हो गया था। लेकिन फिर 2013-14 से चेंजेस शुरू हुए, जब एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप एंड स्किल डेवलपमेंट मिनिस्ट्री बनी। आई डू रिमेंबर अरोड़ा साहब के साथ जब मैं बैठता था, जो बाद में इलेक्शन कमिश्नर हुए अपने देश के, उनके अंदर भी एक सोच हुआ करती नहीं कुछ करना है। मुझे आश्चर्य हुआ कि वहां से बनारस आईटी बीएचयू में कितने सीनियर आईएएसओ को उन्होंने भेजा कि जाओ देखो कैसे इकोसिस्टम क्रिएट करते हैं। बिना इकोसिस्टम क्रिएट किए आप काम नहीं कर सकते। तो मैंने बहुत ज्यादा तो नहीं किया, लेकिन इतना आनंद आता है कि आज कम से कम 20-25 ऐसे बच्चे हैं जिन्होंने करोड़ों का टर्नओवर का अपना स्टार्टअप शुरू किया और उसी जगह से शुरू किया। और यहाँ पर अचानक मुझे दिख गया श्याम चौरसिया, एक ऐसा लड़का जो 8 पास था बनारस में, कुछ नहीं, फॉर्मल एजुकेशन था, लेकिन उसके पास में देखता था एक जुनून था कि कुछ बनाएंगे, ये करेंगे। और जब ये पहली बार एक कॉन्वेंट स्कूल में लेक्चरर हुआ 8 पास करके, तो मैंने कहा कुछ भी संभव। और आज एक इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज में भी है, इज डूइंग नंबर ऑफ थिंग्स कि कैसे करते हैं। इस तरह के बच्चे, अब तय हो गया कि आप डिग्री से कुछ नहीं होने वाला, जो आप कह रहे थे। आपके पास कौन सा स्किल सेट है, क्या आता है आपको, कर क्या सकते हैं। बहुत से लोग नौकरी मांगने भी आते हैं तो पूछता क्या कर सकते हैं, तो कहते हैं मैं फला पढ़ा, तो वो ट्रेंड गया है। तो हमारे बच्चे, हमारे टीचर्स और हमारे एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, इसमें सब लोग, जैसा आपने कहा सर, आउट ऑफ द वे जाके जब तक हम इनोवेशन, इंक्यूबेशन, एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप को सपोर्ट नहीं करेंगे, तब तक सरकारें क्या कर लेंगी। ये मोदी जी बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं, योगी जी बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं, लेकिन उसके पीछे हम जैसे लोग तो भी हैं। हमारा भी तो रोल है कि जो सोच रहे हैं उसको कैसे ट्रांसलेशन करें, कैसे लोगों तक पहुंचाएं। इतना ज्यादा एफर्ट है। और अगर आज एवरेज इंटेलेक्ट और एवरेज मेहनत का आदमी भी चाहे तो बहुत बड़ा परिवर्तन हो सकता है। बहुत ज्यादा समय नहीं लूंगा, बस आप सबको थैंक यू और एक बेस्ट विशेष कि आप जो कर रहे हैं और अच्छे से करिए। थैंक्स लॉट, थैंक यू।
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable insights. And we are really great to have our Honorable Vice Chancellor who have been working since long into innovation and entrepreneurship. Now I would like to brief you about the entire program. That is, after the inaugural ceremony, we'll be having a visit of the stalls. So here there are innovator stalls arranged, and this side grassroots innovator stalls are arranged. At the back side of this, IIC poster stalls are arranged, which are being displayed by the institutes. So after the inaugural ceremony, everyone have to visit the stalls, and jury will be evaluating these respective innovators and grassroots innovators and IIC posters. Post that, we'll be having an impact session. Impact session will be organized here only. That is for all the institutions and innovators. The impact session is there, which is being taken by Mr. Deepan Sahu. Post impact session, there will be lunch, and then tracks will start. So tracks are in the parallel session. The details are there in your folders, so you can visit your respective venues. Volunteers will be there to guide you all. In the evening, we will be having the valedictory function where we will be felicitating all the winners of innovator stalls, grassroots innovators and IIC posters. Now to proceed with, I would like to invite our respected Registrar Sir, Mr. Sachin Kumar Singh, for the vote of thanks. Welcome, sir.
शिक्षा मंत्रालय भारत सरकार द्वारा स्थापित आईआईसी के इस रीजनल मीट में उपस्थित AKtU विश्वविद्यालय के माननीय वाइस चांसलर साहब, प्रो वीसी सर, FO सर, डॉक्टर अभय, डॉक्टर संदीप तिवारी, डॉक्टर साहू, पूरे उत्तर प्रदेश और पूरे भारतवर्ष से आए यहाँ इनोवेटर्स, ग्रास रूट इनोवेटर्स और अन्य गणमान्य अतिथिगण, मैं आप लोगों का हृदय की गहराइयों से हार्दिक अभिनंदन और स्वागत करता हूं और आप लोगों को धन्यवाद ज्ञापित करता हूं कि आप लोगों ने भारत सरकार की जो महत्वाकांक्षी योजना है, जिसमें इनोवेशन, स्टार्टअप्स, एंटरप्रेन्योरियल स्किल को बढ़ावा देने के लिए आईआईसी और मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ HRD के अंतर्गत जो MIC की स्थापना की गई है, उसके तत्वाधान में आयोजित इस आईआईसी के मीट में आप लोगों ने सहभाग किया है। और इसको सफल बनाने के लिए पिछले 3-4 दिन से, हफ्तों से लगे डॉक्टर संदीप तिवारी, अनुज और महीप जी का भी मैं धन्यवाद ज्ञापित करता हूं। और वीसी सर को स्पेशल मैं थैंक्स बोलना चाहूँगा कि उनके प्रेरणा से और आशीर्वाद से इतना बड़ा आयोजन हम लोग इतने कम समय में पूर्ण कर पाए हैं। तो आप लोगों से ये उम्मीद है कि आप लोग इस पूरे इस दिन भर के आयोजन में अच्छे से फुल पार्टिसिपेट करेंगे और AKtU की तरफ से जो भी हमारा सहयोग है वो हम प्रदान करने के लिए तैयार हैं। धन्यवाद।
Thank you so much, sir. Now I request all the dignitaries and all the jury members for the group picture. All the jury members, round table delegates, if we can have you all for the group picture. I also request all the directors, Vineet Kansal sir, SP Shukla sir, on the stage for the group picture. For the visit of the stalls. Also, we request all the innovators to please go back to your stalls for the display. And volunteers, please guide your jury members for the evaluation. We'll be gathering here at 12:15 for the impact session.
हो